Just past the Henry Ford Pistons Performance Center. Guess it's like a new practice facility for the Detroit Pistons. And anyway, that's located on 2nd Avenue. That's where my video begins. As I approach the new center area. And I was approaching the 2nd Avenue Bridge.
Federal, state, and local leaders came together in Midtown to celebrate the completion of the 2nd Avenue Bridge over I-94. Hailed as an engineering marvel, the bridge is the largest project of its kind in Michigan history. The 5 million pound structure is the first network-tied arch bridge in the state. And last summer, crews moved the bridge onto place along I-94 between I-75 and the Lodge. And now that it's finished, it's reconnecting local neighborhoods once separated by the freeway, making them more accessible for pedestrians, bikers,
and so that is where I take the 2nd Avenue Bridge over to where I cut right through the Wayne State University campus area, cut across, and this was like my first time going through this direction, because I had always taken Cass Avenue, but I really, I trial and error figured out that there's a lot of problems going down Cass because of all the construction in that area. So I decided, well, instead of just, going through there all the time and, having to avoid the traffic because I had to end up going on the street, that this would be a much safer way to go. Turns out it is, so it was a great idea.
It's anniversary. Today is special for many reasons, and for those of you who haven't been with the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy for a long time, it's especially rewarding. Diane Hinton, 21 years with the Riverfront Conservancy, the Riverfront Conservancy's first employee. We are not just opening another section of the Riverwalk, but we are witnessing the completion of a bold vision that started with us in 2002, 2003, but we're standing on the shoulders of a lot of folks that came before us that had visions for the riverfront. Mount Elliott Park holds a special place in my heart. It was a space where I grew up as a kid. I used to come on dates down here at Mount Elliott Park. Yeah. And in my position as a CFO, closely with the project team, I worked closely with the project team to transform Mount Elliott Park into a vision in a beautiful space for kids. It was one of the historical events that took place in Michigan. It was the first time that MDOT had partnered with a nonprofit, and then Matt Cullen went and stole it and took it over to the Q line. But that's fine, man. I won't hold that against you. But I was the originator of that partnership. So it is my honor, and it has always been my honor to MC for this event and the Riverfront Conservancy, and to introduce several individuals and organizations that have played a significant role with this project. I'll move right along. I know everyone is anxious to cut the ribbon. I'm anxious to light my cigar and explore the new promenade. Our next speaker doesn't require much introduction, but he deserves a tremendous amount of credit for crafting this vision, for creating the organizational relationships that have brought us to this moment, and leading us in our fundraising campaign, and just being a flat-out mentor. You know him, you all love him. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce my chairman, Mr. Matt Cummings.
All right. Thank you, Will. Good morning, everybody. It's a great day to be out here. As Will said, it's been a while. Look at it. Even the mayor gave me a shot this morning and said, boy, it's taken a while, but it's 20 years. 20 years ago, we started talking about what we could do out here on the riverfront. We were at the Renaissance Center about 20 years ago. We unveiled the vision, and we thought we could go the entire span from the Joe Louis Arena at the time down to the Gabriel Sharp Park, Belle Isle, and you know, we're here today to celebrate that incredible outcome. Many of the people, as I look out here today, are people that were with us that entire time, which is incredible as well. Our original vision, 3.5 miles of perpetual public access, linked parks the entire way. Something that would transform our community, something that would transform economic development in the entire area, and we're really excited that we've been able to pull it together. So, stealing one of the mayor's phrases, our journey from blight to beauty and vision to reality ends today, and great outcome for everybody. So, round of applause for that, please. You know, someone asked me the other day what emotions I was experiencing as we came to the conclusion of this thing, and I said, look, 3 probably: excitement, pride, and gratitude. Excitement because we've been working on this thing for a long time, and this piece of property was kind of a bottleneck for us. It stopped us from getting from downtown to Belle Isle. 3.5 million visitors last year, but we couldn't connect. If you wanted to connect, you had to go out to Jefferson, walk around. It wasn't working at all, and now we're going to be able to do that. And soon with the completion of the West Riverfront, and then beyond that, the Joe Louis Greenway, got lots of folks from the city here that are involved with that. The entire city is going to connect to the riverfront and to Belle Isle, which is incredible. My sense of pride comes from the fact that we got it done. The idea wasn't really complicated. It's done a lot of places, but getting it done here was really hard, and it took us a long time. There have been, you know, dreams and drawings about what the riverfront could look like for 150 years, right? And but it never was able to get pulled together. But we did it. We got it done. Great sense of pride in that regard, and I think in doing it, we really changed our city and our community forever. And so, pride in that regard. But last, that really leads to the third emotion, which is gratitude. It really did take a village to get this done. I'm so incredibly grateful as I look out to the folks here that have been a part of it every step of the way. And so I'm going to take a few minutes, and it is a 20-minute journey, so give me a couple minutes to get done with it. But I want to thank a lot of the key people that have been involved. Let me start by asking our board members, current and past, to stand or raise your hand or wave and be celebrated, because an incredible organization of people that have gotten this done. Best board in the city, best board in the country. I mean, we're the best Riverwalk in the United States. We must have the best board. So just a tremendous job. I was going to acknowledge my wife as an honorary board member, but I haven't seen her yet. So if she's here, oh, there she is. She's back there. Somebody's waving a flag back there. So a round of applause for my wife, who's tolerated my engagement in this for the last 25 years. We'll acknowledge a couple people, but I did want to take a second to look backwards to the beginning here. Early board members and leaders. Derek Miller is here. So Derek, please stand and get recognized. Derek is my co-chair for many years as we got this going, did a terrific job. Will already acknowledge David Page, but vice chair really put the discipline in front of us of making sure that if we build it, we could take care of it, and that we'd be able to sustain this thing going forward. So, and then of course Carl Levin, who has not only provided the money but provided the leadership and the vision and the mentorship for me. I'm not sure if Faye Nelson, she was hoping to be here. I'm not sure if Faye's here, but she deserves a round of applause wherever she is, because she did an incredible job and was, my partner in crime for many years before Will joined. Our first project leader and our current project leader, and somebody who's been around even longer than Diane Hinton, Karen DePerry. Where's Karen? There's Karen. All right. She is just, she has spent literally tens of thousands of hours at community meetings and design meetings and so on. And And she's been with us for that entire period of time. I told Terry Radigan today that Karen must be the longest tenured loan executive in the history of corporations, because she's been doing this for 25 years as a GM employee. So thank you for that. Karen's part of an incredible conservancy team. They're all going to have a chance to get recognized. I know Mark will, but let me start by saying Mark Wallace, Will Smith, Cassie Brunsky, an incredible group that make hard things look easy. So wouldn't happen without you guys. Now, clearly, it takes a lot of people to make it happen. There are 3 organizations, though, that were there at the beginning and really provided the leadership and kind of, I don't know what the right word is, maybe the heft to get this thing done. Because, as I said, a lot of times people had put this vision forward, but it couldn't get done. These 3 groups came together to get it done. They really became the founding partners of the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy. We're going to hear from representatives from each of them as we go forward. But first, I'd like to start by acknowledging my former colleagues at General Motors as the first founding partner. Simply put, the Riverwalk wouldn't exist without the investment in General Motors. When GM bought the Renaissance Center in 1996, they were determined to open up the Renaissance Center for all and to make it more welcoming. Their investment, as they did the Winter Garden and then the GM Plaza, represents a tremendous gift to the city of Detroit. Really importantly, too, that GM donated the first half mile of the Riverwalk to this fledgling conservancy. I mean, we didn't have an office. We didn't have anything. We didn't have a mailing address. We didn't have much. And they gave us the first half mile of it, and it set a precedent that everybody for this entire span could have confidence that they could do it and that we would take care of, be good stewards of the property. Remarkable act of leadership from a global corporation. We really owe GM a debt of gratitude. Thank you to CEO Mary Barra, former CEO Rick Wagner, Terry Radigan, who's here today, John Blanchard, Debbie Homik-Hoagie, the entire GM team. Round of applause for General Motors. Our second founding partner is the Kresge Foundation. We wouldn't be standing here without their visionary investment of over $50 million for the transformation of the Detroit Riverfront. By far their largest grant at the time, and it really became the foundation of our philanthropic campaign, which in turn has catalyzed already over $2 billion worth of economic development along the Detroit Riverfront. Lots of folks at the Kresge Foundation were part of that. I certainly want to acknowledge Rip Rapson, John Marshall, Laura Trudeau, and Wendy Jackson for their leadership in this project. Lastly, but certainly not least, I want to acknowledge the city of Detroit, which obviously played a critical role in the property since day one, making available important parcels, pieces of property along the riverfront, taking the lead on relocating the cement silos, tearing down the old buildings and so on that litter the riverfront. City also rebuilt sidewalks and roads in the East Riverfront District, played a pivotal role in the development of the DeQuinter Cut, and recently opened one of our newest neighborhood connections, Dennis Archer Greenway, and Mayor Archer's here somewhere, so a round of applause for Mayor Archer as well. There he is. Lots of folks in the city to thank, really too many of them because of all the involvement. But I saw Marcia Bruni here the other day. She was terrific at the beginning and helping us get things organized. George Jackson, I think, is here today. George. And George was really important role of property acquisition and the silos. And fast forward today, and under Mayor Duggan's leadership, Brad Dick, Megan Elliott, Hassan Beydoun are really driving things forward on a daily basis for us. So great support from our founding partners, and certainly Mayor Duggan has had a profound impact on the riverfront as well. When he came into office, he immediately embraced the vision that everything south of Atwater is going to be public space. I mean, for a long period of time, there's a lot of debate. People were pushing, hey, there's going to be development run up to the water's edge, and the mayor and his team said, no, that's going to be north of Atwater, which was really critical. That allowed for Milliken State Park to expand. It allowed for the development of the Robert Vallée Park, and it just set a tone for we're going to have public access to the waterfront. This piece behind us, we could have been done with this a long time ago, but there was a lot of political roadblocks in getting it untied. You know, there was a sense that we had to wait for the development of the project itself to take place before we could do the river's edge. And the mayor came in and said, hey, look, if you guys are ready to go, let's get it done. And that's really what unlocked this. So, Mayor, thank you for everything that you and your team have done, and let me invite you up, please, and make a few remarks.
This video is a 36-mile round trip Detroit, Michigan. So I think we should be very proud of that, of having such a fantastic walkway, riverfront, river walk. They say that's what they said, the #1 river walk in Detroit, Michigan. So with that opening up, it also opened up a different pathway to the Belle Isle Bridge, which is another fantastic spot to visit in Detroit, Michigan. And that's also what this video is about. Kind of like rediscovering Belle Isle as I took the Riverwalk pathway and found my way across the Belle Isle Bridge, and then I stopped there, and I was actually kind of surprised after I had stopped and after I got across the Belle Isle Bridge. I noticed that here it is, late October, and the Belle Isle Fountain, I can't remember who was named after me, but that fountain was still on, and that kind of surprised me. So I stopped there and took a little video of that, and the water fountain, and the whole experience was surreal. It was calming and soothing. You hear that water, fountain water, sound like a waterfall in the background, and it was a
The Scott Memorial Fountain is the jewel of Belle Isle and a monument to a womanizing scoundrel. Socialite James Scott was said to have been lazy, eccentric, a prankster, and a real rapscallion. He had inherited his money from his father, a successful real estate type, and spent his days not working like the rest of his fellow Detroiters, but often gambling it away and being an all-around man about town. He also made shrewd real estate investments that only added to his fortune, but he was a perpetual bachelor and frequently entertained women of less moral fiber. And here's the buildings of Detroit. A history. William Hawkins Ferry writes that Scott had a reputation for being a vindictive, scurrilous misanthrope. His enemies were legion, for he seemed to delight in feuds, lawsuits, and practical jokes. When he died in 1910, his vast estate was left to the city to build a monument for the people. Of course, his gift came with a catch. The city also had to erect a life-size statue of himself. The issue would be locked in bitter debate for years. Only a good man who has wrought things for humanity should be honored in this way. Bishop Charles D. Williams said of the plans to erect a fountain in Scott's honor. Dr. F.D. Lee, pastor of Central Methodist Church on Grand Circus Park, thought a statue about 2.5 inches high would be suitable, considering the moral stature of the subject. The Detroit News wrote. J. L. Hudson, the department store magnate who started one of Metro Detroit's best-known and most respected retail chains, also slammed the notion of a monument to Scott, saying, Mr. Scott never did anything for Detroit in his lifetime, and he never had a thought that was good for the city. But money won out, and it was decided to build the fountain on the southern tip of Belle Isle. I don't believe the city has a right to insult any of her citizens by refusing a gift for such a good cause. Then Mayor Philip Braidmeyer said, a nationwide competition was held for the design of the fountain, and Cass Gilbert was the winning architect. Gilbert also designed the Detroit Public Library and the U.S. Supreme Court building in Washington. The bronze statue of Scott was modeled by sculptor Herbert Adams of New York. The Vermont White Marble Fountain was unveiled May 31, 1925, 15 years after Scott's death, and cost $500,000 to build, about $6.2 million today. The back of the chair holding Scott's statue says, for the enjoyment of the people and for the adornment of his native city, James Scott bequeathed to Detroit his fortune to be used in the construction of this fountain. Erected 1923, from the good deed of one comes benefit to many. The fountain is 510 feet across, and its central fountain could spray water 125 feet into the air. It has 109 water outlets in the shape of dolphins, turtles, lions, and human figures. After undergoing a major restoration about 2005, thieves stole copper components of the fountain, rendering it inoperable. Following a major overhaul, the fountain returned in 2014 to daily service during the summer, complete with a light show at dusk.
most people don't really think that, but there is a statue there that faces the fountain of James Scott. So that's all I'm going to say about that for now. And, so that was like my first stop. And then, I went around the entire island, Belle Isle, and I found another little pathway, more of like a pedestrian pathway that goes along Detroit River. And there's like a little spot there where people fish and stuff, and it's real nice, real picturesque. So I went along that route, and altogether I really enjoyed my ride around Belle Isle Park, and I went back and circled back around the Riverwalk. So I would discover that it was, a whole different route now that we have that new connection from the Detroit Riverwalk to Belle Isle Bridge and Belle Isle Park. But one thing, coming back and you're on the street in the bike lane, when you finally get down to where you pick up the trail that goes back underneath the bridge, you have to make a decision on how to get to that pathway, because you would either have to go all the way back down to Jefferson and then loop back, or you have to stop and jump the curve, which is a pretty big curve. I think the curve is I'd say about 10 inches or something like that, or maybe almost a foot. It's a big curve there. So getting over that is kind of an issue. I think eventually, hopefully, they'll make a cutout for that so that people can maneuver their way back onto the path and continue back under where they can access the Riverwalk and go through there. without any motor assistance whatsoever. So I wanted to save all the pedal assistance for the return trip, or when I got closer to home, so that I could ride the bike up on a higher pedal assistance level. And so like you start out on eco mode, then you get to touring mode, and then there's sport mode, and the final is turbo mode. And turbo would pretty much put you up to the max, which the motor cuts out at 28 miles per hour. So if you're on that, you're going pretty fast on that bike. But I never really got to that. I think I got the final mode as well, like sport mode, where I got up to like maybe 25 miles an hour on that. You know, but by that time I was all in the neighborhood, and you know, there was a lot of speed bumps and stop signs and all that stuff. So I didn't really need to have it up on the highest level, because I, you know, didn't have enough time to build up that much speed. By the time you got up to speed, you're already having to stop or slow down, you know, for the corner and stop signs and speed bumps. So I never really got to that. So it's really hard for me to talk about this stuff going on in the video because most of the action up to when I slow it down, it's really moving because I'm trying to take you through the scenes fast as I can, not to drag out the video so much until I get to, like I was going through downtown. And, so when I'm going through downtown, there was a lot of traffic because there were a lot of people going to some event that was there, and they're going through to the parking lot. And I'm in the bike lane, and I was kind of cruising along the bike lane until, people would, get in my way, or I had to stop these traffic lights and such. But other than that, I was doing pretty good. But some people had, were turning and stuff like that. So I can't kind of had to maneuver my way through. But this was like the longest part of the video because I'm trying to get all the way down through Cash Street and take you with me through this journey in a short period of like 7 minutes, and probably actually took more like 20 minutes or so, to go all the way from the riverfront all the way down Cass. And I don't know exactly how far I went, but it was pretty far.
part of the riverfront just completed. I'm gonna flip this so you can see how beautiful it is. Very nice.